Hey, Kevin here. Hope you're enjoying the episode.
Hey, who are you talking to, Kevin?
Listeners of our shows, I also want to let them know that if they're enjoying what we've been doing, they can support us on Patreon.
Oh, Patreon. Were you going to tell them about the early episodes? Also, Patreon-exclusive episodes that can be found there, too?
Well, yeah, I was going to do the
whole... yeah, and then there's the other cool stuff, including art, merch for subscribers, like tote bags, hoodies, shirts, mugs.
Yeah, and...
Can you believe people could support us for only $5 a month? You're definitely going to mention that, too, right?
I was. Support Supernatural Selection and The Distraction Hole on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. Visit patreon.supernaturalselectionpod.com to learn more and get started today. The year is 2005, operating from secret bases on two of Cybertron's moons. Sorry, every time I get a sore throat, I think I sound like the announcer from the original Transformers.
Or you could be the announcer for the dub of Dragon Ball Z.
Previously on Dragon Ball Z. It's pretty good. There we go. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin. With me this week are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Yes.
I'm Gravelly. And we've also got Mr. David Davis. Welcome back, David.
Hi, thank you. I don't have the con crud.
Yeah, I got to dip a ladle into the cauldron of every disease known to man and take a swig, and I brought it back with me to share.
And now what's great is this seemed like it felt almost like it was a company trip that I was not invited to.
You were invited, you just couldn't make it.
No,
You're
exactly. I was there in spirit.
Yes.
We both had the Roger Corman thing, and we'll talk about that on Sunday.
Yeah, and I know you were there in spirit because you were the big spoon.
Yes. The ghostly spooning of David Davis.
Yeah, oh my God. Mike, did you feel that? Did David spoon with you?
No, we had the separation for the Lord. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you had the pillow. You had the pillow between you. You know,
it
leave
was
6
a
inches. Leave 6 inches for Jesus.
It was a David Davis waifu pillow, but still.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the Daikimakura, where like one side is me just laying down, the other side my shirt's pulled up a little bit.
Yeah, no, the other side is you ass up with your cheeks spread.
Jesus Christ. My mother listens to this show, you son of a bitch.
Hello, I'm back. Woo! Back from Dragoncon, the den of debauchery. So,
well, not anymore. They went family friendly in 15.
God, they even cleaned up Jenny Breeden's kilt leaf blower thing.
Yeah, it's kind of sad in some ways.
So, it's a weekend weird, and before we get into that, David, do we have any, what's it called?
News?
Housekeeping,
yes. Well, we've got the zine edits just about done, and then we'll figure out, like, how we're going to handle, like, getting the print stuff done, if we're going to do a starter campaign or whatever.
Right.
Like, more or less, I'm more interested in just making sure that it's, like, available for free.
Right, for the people that, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out. We might do like an early access thing for patrons, and of course the people who actually made the zine, or who contributed stuff. So yeah, like no, it's going well. Like the zine's just about done. We have some assistance on laying out the pages because it's been a while since I've done that, and I got confused.
Yes. So Dusty's been helping, or Dusty's going to be helping?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Mike, you got anything? Real quick, before we get going?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right. Well, we had a bonus thing go up on the Patreon before Dragoncon. It was myself and the Spooky Dice Bag crew. I read the first chapter and a half of Xenogenesis, one of the books that Ruth Ann sent me. Whew, boy. This is like we already hit the racism. It is something. So if you'd like to hear that, join at the $10 tier or higher to our Patreon, and you will continue to get that as we go through it. Yes. And we're also going to eventually finally watch the Alex Chu piss video because we hate ourselves.
We'll make we'll print T-shirts. I survived the Alex Chu piss video if we do in fact survive it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the kicker. We got to survive it.
Because I recall one of us at one point when we barely watched it. We just kind of clicked.
I started gagging,
and we started saying there's chunks in it.
Yes.
Oh
God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Just remembering that.
Yeah. Oh boy. So again, Weekend Weird. Let's get started. I'm gonna go first. This first article is from news.com.au. Now, is AU Australia or is that Germany? Where is that?
I'm pretty sure AU is Australia.
Okay. I think AU is the symbol for gold, right?
Okay, so news.com.gold. Nope, it's Australia. There's an Australian Olympic symbol at the top with an emu and a kangaroo. All right. So, first article is Otherworld Technologies, former presidential aide's CIA claim. A former senior advisor to multiple U.S. presidents has claimed he was briefed on otherworldly technologies by a top CIA official.
Top men.
Top men.
Bottom men.
Woo! And this article's by Frank Chung.
So wait, you're telling me the bottom men are the load-bearing part of the triple-digit agencies?
Of course.
Yeah. Always.
Can't do anything without the bottom men.
Yeah.
The top men have nothing to stand on then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a pyramid of tumblers.
Our first week back after a couple weeks, and we're already to the coming. So that's great.
Yep. That's how it works. So this came out on August 21st, 2024. Hold on one sec. Thank you. A former senior advisor to multiple U.S. presidents has claimed he was briefed on otherworld technologies by a top CIA official in the 1960s. Harold Malmgren.
Quite a mouthful.
Harold Malmgren, who served under John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, and Gerald Ford, made the eyebrow-raising claim about the alleged conversation with CIA officer Richard Bizzle in a viral post on X this week. All right, fuckers, it's Twitter. 60-plus years ago, I was provided highest-level classifications to lead DoD, Department of Defense, work on nuclear weapons and anti-missile defense, Mr. Malmgren wrote. Informally briefed on otherworld technologies by CIA's Richard Bizzle, who had been in charge of Skunk Works, Area 51, Los Alamos, etc., but sworn to secrecy. Mr. Malmgren had been replying to an earlier thread about above top secret clearances, in which he claimed to have been told by rocket scientist Lawrence Preston Geis, the grandfather of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, about its alleged work on reverse engineering of UAP objects during a conversation in 1963. His claim coincided with the publication of a long-awaited book by Lou Elizondo, who formerly worked on the Pentagon's secret UFO program, in which he states his belief that the government is in possession of advanced technology made off-world by non-human intelligences. Elizondo's claims have been echoed by David Grush, a former U.S. intelligence officer turned whistleblower. I think if you're a whistleblower, you should actually have, like, a whistle.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. You should blow a whistle and start yelling aliens.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, who also went public in June 2023 with allegations of retrieved non-human craft and even recovered alien bodies. Mr. Malmgren wrote in a follow-up post that he was briefed by Mr. Bizzle, of vacuum cleaner fame, the architect of the failed 1961 Bay of Pigs invasion of Cuba.
Oh, shit.
who stepped down from the CIA the following year, quote, off the record after his resignation.
Jesus.
Quote, I'm not seeking public confirmation status, just telling my personal story, Mr. Malmgren wrote. Confirmations will be up to others directly involved in coming months. He added that, quote, I never directly worked on UAPs, nor indirectly used such research in my own work, and therefore cannot be treated as a source of confirmation of UAP info. What are we doing then? What are we doing? What I learned was sketchy, slightly illuminated by Bizzle, as he felt I needed a heads up in case the subject ever came up in my meetings with presidents or others, he wrote. I swore secrecy to him, not under any law. He also said he did not know Elizondo or have any connection with his book's publication.
Oh, for shizzle?
Word. Straight up.
The whitest podcast you know.
Yeah, definitely. Quote, I simply thought time has come for the rest of humanity to start thinking about what it means for understanding of the world in which we live, he wrote. Thank God for editing. Mr. Malmgren's daughter, former White House advisor Dr. Pippa Malmgren, also has made a number of recent comments on the topic of UFOs, or UAPs, as they are now known. Quote, disclosure is not the problem. Legal liability is, she wrote in August 2024. Yes, the new legislation protests the government and now even private contractor whistleblowers. Nope, sorry, misread that. Yes, the new legislation protects the government and now even private contractor whistleblowers. But there is nothing to protect anyone from the revelation that monies were spent without congressional oversight or secreted away to secret programs away from congressional oversight. Dr. Malmgren suggested that as the UAP investigation advances, it will not only crack open the black budgets on this particular issue, but also raises questions about all black budgets and all SAPs, special access programs, regardless of the subject matter. Like Elizondo, I never looked at this subject until it became impossible to ignore, she wrote on X. Here's the question. What is the cost of asking, what if this is true, versus the cost of assuming it is not true and being wrong? Real serious scientists will want to bring all our new tech to bear on this to prove things one way or another. We have to question those who insist on not investigating all this. What is there to lose? Nothing. What is there to gain? Possibly a transformation of our understanding of reality. And then it goes on for a long, long time talking about the exact same thing, that these people are saying that with no direct evidence, sightings, or experiences.
Yep.
So
literally this guy, his whole thing is like, someone told him 60 years ago about a thing, and he's talking about it now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's it exactly. And the question was asked, what is there to lose? Credibility and reputation.
Yep.
What is there to gain? Antipsychotics, most likely. You know me. I want them to study this, but it's still not being taken seriously. And there's a certain level of riding around in a panel van looking for lights that you're losing by making it this big a deal.
Well, and the real alarming thing about this is how connected everybody is. Government positions running in the family. Fucking Jeff Bezos out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a topic.
That's the real conspiracy here.
Yeah, Mike, thoughts on that one?
I mean,
that came out of fucking nowhere.
Well, it just goes to show that, nobody truly comes from nothing.
Oh, not that successful. No, he started with a small $1 billion loan from his father, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be actual money. It can be, just, influence or, opportunity.
Yeah.
It's just The fucking Bay of Pigs invasion.
That was crazy.
She being the granddaughter, or was she the daughter?
The daughter of the
And she
guy
worked
that
in the
came
White
over.
House. Oh man, it's
government
wild.
is a lot like European royal families in the 1600s.
Yeah, we're gonna start seeing Habsburg Jaws at some point.
Oh my God, President Habsburg is coming. This is gonna be
We're
awful.
gonna have one day a politician so inbred that they have to like surgically alter him so he can sit in his throne because his congressional seat. I forget which
Yeah.
monarch it was, but he was so inbred and so fat that they had to like perform a radical surgery just so he could sit on his throne.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say to remove him from the throne.
No, like they couldn't even get him in it.
Jesus Christ.
But here's a question: why don't you just build a bigger throne? But I guess it's more about the message you're sending.
I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's the same throne for everybody, so you want to sit on the throne everybody else has.
That's why
don't
all
have to
thrones
build a
should
new
be
throne.
all thrones should have like a little thing like when you're extending the dinner table for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, leaves in your throne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I also think it's funny that in like one more generation, where the entirety of Congress is going to look like the Big Book of British Smiles from The Simpsons.
Just every single congressman looks like Mitch McConnell.
Every
Like
single one
like
goes,
like purple necrotic Mitch McConnell.
yes.
Like 'cause
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
the one that
wild
had
when
that-
that happened.
Oh, when he locked up.
Oh no, I'm talking about when he had that bruising that looked like he was like the corpse was finally emerging.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he is a lich.
Yep.
So, I had to cover that because it's once again some stuff about UFOs, but like, I don't know. Somebody needs some fucking proof or something. At least lie to us. Say, I seen them.
Right. Yeah, no, it's always the second-hand thing. Like, I know a guy. The other thing is, like, okay, this is 1960s, right? So that's 60 years ago. But the other thing is that, like, LSD was being used on government employees at the time.
Yes.
So he could have just, like, hallucinated this shit because he was CIA, right?
Oh yeah, what's his name? Just stuck his finger down in his coffee.
Yeah, like Wormwood, that
Yeah.
Netflix documentary. Like, yeah, like literally testing on CIA agents LSD.
God, it's like the most evil version of Alan Funt. I don't know. Psychotic Camera. That's a show I don't want.
We've exposed these 6 DMV employees to LSD. Let's see what happens.
The walls are bleeding. Well, that's mine. Mike, what have you got for us?
What I have at first
Lovin'
is
is what you got. Remember that?
so. How science fiction-y does this sound? Something you could just kind of rub on your skin to be able to see inside your body.
Oh, it sounds like a fucking nightmare, actually.
Like, how far off of a technology do you think that is?
Like,
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Alien Romulus had a scene with a beam projector that allows you to like illuminate your. It was all over the trailer and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like when you put a super powerful flashlight behind your fingers.
Yeah.
So what if I told you we've come up with something like that already?
I'd say keep it away from me. I don't want to know what's in
So
here.
how rare, like how complex and rare the substance would have to be? How it'd have to be something like super high tech, right? Like you're thinking like something like at least like nano machines or maybe like
I'm honestly thinking Reed Richards' Unstable Molecules here.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm thinking Venture Brothers. Club Soda get out most anything.
What if I say it's something you've come into contact with before, probably on a daily basis, and you've actually eaten it before?
Is this
is it
another piss story?
No.
Oh no!
Okay,
Is it Domino's or wait? Is it Papa John's? Is
It's
this
pizza
the reckoning?
grease. It's pizza grease.
No. Well, researchers turn skin invisible using food dye.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Not a team of researchers has managed to make living tissue transparent using a common food dye. The discovery could yield a range of innovations in medicine, from managing muscle injuries to spotting cancers. The team's research, published today in Science, makes use of a concept once relegated to science fiction, making soft tissue like skin transparent safely and temporarily. How did they do it? Well, the reason we can't see through most objects is because light scatters off of them. To overcome this, the team needed to develop a technology that would match up the refractive indices of different soft tissues, allowing light to pass through these structures unimpeded. The team used a food dye called tartarazine, or FDNC Yellow Number 5.
Oh, I love that Lou Bega song.
The dye's molecules are particularly good at matching up those refractive indices. When light hits objects affected with the dye, instead of scattering off those structures, it carries on its way, thereby rendering the tissue transparent.
So like, it's literally just the dye as it comes, and they just kind of rub it on the skin, and it...
That's what it sounds like.
Holy shit, I need to get a
Wow.
barrel of that, dip myself in it, and have the coolest Halloween costume ever.
Okay, I want to throw two things out there. First off, the first person to discover this was horrified.
Right? Holy shit.
Secondly,
They're eating a candy, they're eating an M&M, and all of a sudden they just realize, why can I see through my finger?
yeah. And second, the first person they applied it in any large amount to probably passed the fuck out when he saw his innards.
So let me continue. The team first dyed chicken breast and found that increasing the concentration of tartarazine absorbed by the muscle cells raised their refractive indices. When those indices matched those of the breast muscle proteins, the chicken became effectively see-through.
So what they did is they turned like chicken breast cutlets into breast implants.
Pretty much, yes.
Does this mean you can finally toe up your chicken stum when you go to a shitty KFC?
Maybe. No, because it would be the breading would be in the way.
Oh, right.
Looking forward, this technology could make veins more visible for the drawing of blood, make laser-based tattoo removal more straightforward, or assist in the early detection and treatment of cancers, said Gongsong Hong, a material scientist at Stanford University and co-author of the paper. In a National Science Foundation release, quote, for example, certain therapies use lasers to eliminate cancerous and precancerous cells, but are limited to areas near the skin surface. This technique may be able to improve that light penetration.
So what is it about this dye that makes it specifically skin, like human skin, or like meat? Like what's going on?
Yeah, so it's basically tissues like meat and skin. So I'm assuming the molecules probably fit in such a way that makes it, because really, if I'm right, the scattering usually comes from like irregular surfaces.
Mm.
And like, have you ever like had a frosted glass that you've washed and it became clear when it was wet?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically kind of a similar thing, because the frosted glass, all it is they've sandblasted the glass to give it a very fine, rough surface.
And the water smooths it back out.
Yeah, the water
so-
fills in all the gaps.
Gotcha.
And it's sort of similar, but you have to have something that, molecules that match the refractive index.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. So
Oh,
back
it's
in
magic.
the day,
It's magic. I get it.
yeah. All right. Yeah, I can't remember exactly right, but
No,
anyways,
but
let me
I
continue.
get where you're going with that. No, that's starting to make sense.
Yeah. So after their chicken run, so to speak,
Jesus fucking
research
Christ.
the
Was
research
this Futurism who wrote this?
No, this is a Gizmodo.
Okay.
Close enough.
Yeah. The research team tested their solution on the scalps of living mice.
Oh, no.
According to the release, their tartazine-treated scalps then revealed blood vessels moving across the rodent's brain. Okay, it wouldn't be brains; it would be skulls, right?
Unless they took the skulls out first.
Yeah, I think this would be skulls. I think this is just
What, you've never heard of soft-headed
Yeah.
mice?
Oh, God.
Applying the solution to mice's abdomens revealed their intestinal activity and motions caused by their heartbeats and breathing.
Wow, gross.
Turn them into those frogs.
We must stress, despite the top illustration showing, okay, they have like a picture at the top that's kind of like a mock-up of
Is this the
what it
one with
would
the
look
hand
like,
and the
yeah.
yellow?
What it would look like if applied to a human hand. So we must stress, despite the top illustration showcasing a semi-transparent human hand, the effect has only been tested on animals to date. Do not try this at home. Even though the team found their method was non-invasive and reversible, it says you will not be successful. I'm like, this just sounds like
It's a challenge
CIA.
accepted.
This is covering our asses legally. Because I'm sitting here thinking, like David said earlier, you remember the Visible Woman from Venture
Yeah.
Brothers?
Yeah, Susan Impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
You know, just turn me into a fucking Easter egg. Dip me. Let's do it.
Mike, would you let him do this?
I mean, so here's the point.
Let me rephrase that. Would you let him do this if it wasn't a necessary procedure?
So the problem so far is that FDNC number 5 has tartazine, whatever they want to call it, is certified, but only certified in certain concentrations. And I'm sure the concentrations you're using for this are way, way higher, probably like hundreds to thousands of percent higher than what the government has said is safe. So it hasn't been studied how safe those high concentrations are.
So cancer, gotcha.
So it could be bad.
Yeah, like imagine
don't
you
know.
do that to yourself and then you can never reverse it.
You know, you have to
Oh,
study
God.
how these super high concentrations of tartazine and other things like it would affect us. Because it could find maybe not cancer, but maybe it makes you very sick and you barf your guts out.
I don't know if the trade-off is. I don't know if the trade-off is to look like the Tar Man from Return of the Living Dead. Like I'm cool with it.
So here's a thought. Hypothetically, you apply that amount to your abdomen all the way up to your mouth,
Yeah.
and it does make you sick, and we can watch the vomit come up.
So here's the thing: is I'm wondering is like how deep does this effect go? Because if you apply it to your skin, obviously you're not going to be able to see all the way through.
No, but you see, like,
It's going to stop whenever you hit the next like refractive index.
Well, it's like injecting a turkey with butter. You know, you get a syringe and yeah. So
Gross.
just yeah.
yeah, that's sick.
Would you prefer like a syringe up the butt?
I will take my seeing inside myself the old-fashioned way with dangerous amounts of radiation. I've done that before. I know how that
what
goes.
is preferable, radiation cancer or chemical cancer?
Look, as long as I end up being able to crawl on walls eventually, I'll take the radiation.
Well, I mean, cancer is cancer. It doesn't matter what causes it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I guess.
How
Here's the
dare
thing.
you?
That's my
How
understanding.
dare you take my joke and pollute it with your science?
Look, I'm just saying that, like, number one, if I get cancer from X-rays and radiation, okay, I got cancer. If I get cancer from yellow shit to see through my skin, I have cancer, and I have to watch my muscles all the time.
Look,
Not
there's
all the
two
time, 'cause
paths
it's
here.
temporary.
There's two paths here.
Wash away.
Radiation cancer turns you into Spider-Man. Chemical cancer turns you into the Toxic Avenger.
Oh man, you just made it tough.
Yeah, right?
You made this a tough decision on me. Fuck.
I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead. Continue.
No, I mean that was pretty much it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so we can continue to derail the conversation. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, good, because I don't know. I'm still going with the radiation.
Fair enough.
I'm a Fallout fan. Fuck you.
I mean, I know enough about radiation to not want that shit near me unless absolutely necessary.
No, I seriously understand that, but you know.
Oh, we're not being serious. Okay.
When are we ever serious?
Yeah,
Super
fair enough.
cereal.
Super serious,
I mean,
you guys.
Unless it's like a super sensitive topic, we're not very sensitive.
Right? It's because of all the radiation.
Yes,
cooked our
very
nerves.
true.
I feel like between the
me.
three of us, I'm more likely to get cancer because of all the sun. I don't know. That intrusive thought just emerged into my head.
I've got way more cancer in my family than you, I think.
I don't know.
In fact,
We'll find out. I'll ask about my the history of cancer in my family tree. I want to figure out which of us is going to die first.
I mean, there's a very good chance I might be a tumor.
The world's best tumor. I love this tumor.
Thank you. Mike, who do you think's going to die first?
I couldn't say. I mean,
Wow.
I like he just rejects the premise entirely.
I'm okay with him rejecting it, and I kind of want to move on because, like, it's been depressing this last couple days.
That's fair.
Yeah. So thank you for that one, Mike. That's actually really interesting and gross. And there was no cruelty to animals.
God, mine aren't always cruel to animals. It's only like 10% of the time.
I know, but usually somebody has one.
Could you imagine how funny it would be to put that dye in someone's body wash?
Oh, can you imagine? You know those alopecia chimps?
Oh, God.
Just cover it with that and then use it as an effect in a movie.
Oh, my God.
Like a new version of The Fly.
Oh, wow. That's great.
That's terrible. All right. Well, David, what have you got for us?
All right. Well, here's something interesting. As we push on into space and we get our Amazon moon colony, here's one thing we need to consider is time zones. So, Futurism has an article here. Scientists say they've come up with a time zone for the moon, and that keeping time on the moon is much harder than it sounds. So,
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Being tide-locked and...
Like, number one, the time zone itself isn't on the fucking planet. So, the planet where the time zones originate. So, timekeeping on the moon... Oh, this article, by the way, is by... Where the fuck is the person's name on this one? Wow, there is no author on this one. Interesting.
Uh-oh. Written by A.
Oh, no, I just don't know how to read. Okay, yeah, Frank Landymore. There we go. Sorry, Frank Landymore, you are valid. Okay. Timekeeping on the moon is a trickier problem than you might think. It's not just the fact that it doesn't have a diurnal cycle like Earth does, or that 1 day on the moon is equal to about 29.5 days on terra firma.
Fuck.
Right? Due to the wonky principles predicted in Einstein's theory of relativity, time itself moves ever so slightly faster on the surface of the moon than it does on our planet. The difference is extremely subtle, just 56 to 57 microseconds faster than what the atomic clocks on Earth tick at each day. But when we're talking about the conducting of scientific missions and sending spacecraft there, which all require extremely precise calculations, those differences add up. Now, a new study published in the Journal of the Astronomical Journey details a system for reconciling lunar time with Earth time, which its authors say could be instrumental in not just exploring the moon, but eventually the cosmos.
Oh,
Quote,
so this is like Stardate.
Yeah, I think that's where we're heading with this. Quote, it's like having the entire moon synchronized to one time zone adjusted for what the moon's gravity, rather than having clocks gradually drift out of sync with the Earth's time, said the study co-author. Okay, that's Bijunith Patla.
Good read.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. A physicist at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, in a statement about the work. One area that the researchers highlight as standing to benefit from synced-up timekeeping is GPS systems. These satellite-based networks rely on global time standard for Earth to be effective, but they too are victims of relativity. Okay, here, this is the section for me. To dumb down a lot of very complicated science, stronger gravitational effects make time go slower, so at higher altitudes, where the Earth's pull is a tad weaker, satellites move slightly faster in time than we do down on the planet's surface.
Right.
Now, GPS systems already account for this, but what if we were to set up a GPS system on the moon? Such capabilities, the researchers argue, will be essential to make lunar exploration more efficient in the future.
So no fold-out road maps.
Mm-hmm. But this, again, requires reconciling the faster timekeeping on the moon with the GPS networks on Earth if we are to coordinate flying between two celestial bodies with an exact landing spot in mind or conduct simultaneous experiments on each surface. The researchers' proposed solution involves a lot of complicated math, but the gist of it is that their method relies on using the center of mass between the Earth and the moon as a reference frame. So, this is getting into detail here. Clocks placed in orbit at Lagrange points, or points in space where a small object is under the gravitational pull of two larger ones, can stay in the same position relative to them, would serve as, quote, time transfer links between the Earth and the Moon, because these orbital sweet spots, quote, provide a low acceleration noise environment that allow for scientists to study or to easily correct for relativity. The researchers wrote the study. All right, we're almost done here. Yeah. Because it's not just the gravity of those two celestial bodies at play, the researchers also include a host of parameters that account for the tidal influence of other planets and the sun. They also have to account for the rotation of both the Earth and the Moon and dozens of other cosmic confounders that'll make your head spin. But the upshot is this. The researchers say their work can be applied to other bodies, like Mars, so it's not just a potential solution to our temporal moon problems, but perhaps for deeper space exploration, too.
Neat. You know what this reminds me of? In Star Trek, anytime they had a temporal anomaly, Picard would ask how long they'd been in it, and Data would say, according to Federation temporal beacons.
Mm-hmm. Which,
it sounds like that.
That's probably that's probably what those were. Like, we can obviously, we're applying this idea to them now, but that makes a lot of sense based on this.
And you know what? I'm gonna thank Mike, because thanks to him, I knew what the hell a Lagrange point was.
Yeah. I just think this is neat.
It is.
Mike. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say more that's sort of a time zone for the moon so much as a, way to synchronize time between the moon and Earth for, purposes of very delicate scientific, data.
Yeah, can we call those areas swatches so we can synchronize swatches?
Yeah, because they're space watches.
That's a very old joke.
Yes. It's not exactly like a time zone, but I understand why they're kind of
Yeah, well, they're dumbing it down for the...
But yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. It's something I never thought about, but now it's ruined every movie I've ever seen about the moon.
Well, and one of the reasons I like this is because, eventually we are probably going to start moving into space regularly, and there's all these little small systems to account for. So thinking about how to measure time, are we going to be able to kind of create a Terra standard time across all colonies in the solar system or something like that?
Wow. And
that's what this is leading to, I think.
And in the journey, you're going to have to synchronize to different stations as you get closer to the planet, so you sync up with them instead of Earth. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's if you're writing a science fiction novel, right? This is the kind of detail that you're oh, hell yeah, that's some world building. This
get
is
on
something,
this, Greg Bear.
Yeah, this is something you'd expect to hear them mention on The Expanse or something.
Right. Show I never watched, but I know Mike's a big fan.
Yeah, no, it feels legit. It feels like the most futuristic thing I have read in a while.
Oh yeah, no, it certainly is.
Yeah.
I mean, I have attempted to write science fiction stories, and I've thought of things like that. No, the way I always thought of it as everyone would basically have their own local time, whatever, either it's your ship or whatever, and it'd be like how you handle international calls and stuff. Mm-hmm. You'd have to be cognizant of the time you're communicating with, but you wouldn't adopt it as your own time.
Yeah.
So right now, say if I had someone in Tokyo I was in regular communication with, I have to think, okay, well, they're currently, it's probably early morning or midday over there. So, it'd be good to call them. But, if they were going to call me, they might be like, I don't know if Mike's going to be awake at this time. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're not, I wouldn't say you'd be constantly like changing your time. Like, say, if you're in a ship and you went to a place where their local time is 180 degrees off from yours, you would all of a sudden, like, you wouldn't want to try to, like, sit there and change your schedule and everything just to fit there, which is kind of what we do now with, international travel, but it's also a pain in the ass, with jet lag and stuff.
Well, yeah, it'd be like you'd have a moment in, like, the science fiction thing where it's like they're getting ready to transport to another planet. It's like, okay, adjusting from Mars local to Sol system time or something like that. Just like that kind of, like, little pop of dialogue. And it's like, ooh, that's neat.
I don't think you would, though. You'd have, like the world clocks that would show, your local time and then the time in all the other places. You'd have your computer set to where, you'd get a invite for something and, just adjust it to your local time instead of, you trying to personally adjust yourself to local time. You just keep your own personal time and, work off that.
I don't like time zones.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to change it. And I've seen, like, some people, there's been, like, proposals for, like, only going to one world time. But that would be very weird.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
But, I mean, I can see the logic in it. I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense noon doesn't have to be sun directly overhead anymore.
No, but I understand it.
You understand it, but you'd eventually, just like the metric system, you'd eventually understand that once you converted.
I cannot tell you how glad I was as a child when we abandoned that. I still don't understand it.
You would understand it in very short order. It's not that difficult.
Why the fuck's everything in French?
I mean,
Kevin,
what the fuck Kevin, you couldn't tell me how big a mile is anyway.
No, that's true. I also don't know how the empirical measurements go either, so that's fine.
Well, the metric system's infinitely more simple because it's all, you don't have this irregular, 12 inches to a foot, yet 3 feet to a yard, but was it 5,420 feet to the mile? Something like that?
Yeah. How are we measuring this? Are we measuring the feet by, like, my size 9.5? Yeah. Is that the feet we're going with this time?
But it's centimeters. 100 of those make up a meter. 1,000 of those make up a kilometer.
But I don't have a frame of reference for how long that is.
Metric makes a lot more sense.
Well, you can think of it this way: a meter is basically a yard. They're not the same exactly, but they're in the same ballpark for just
so 3
guesstimation.
feet.
So about
Yeah.
So if someone's 2 meters tall, they're about 6 feet tall.
Supernatural Selection, a podcast about the metric system.
Look, I'm just gonna say that if PBS, if public broadcasting in the 70s and 80s couldn't get me to learn the metric system, I don't know what will.
Well, look, 3D printing has forced me to learn it, and it's not that bad.
It's funny. It's funny. Like, it's easy to get people to learn the metric system through ammo. Like, that's the most American way to learn the metric system.
Oh yeah,
I guess. Look, I just want a Star Trek series where, what's the approximate size, Mr. Data? About yay long.
It's bigger than a bread box.
Still trying to wrap my head around, weights. I don't have quite a feeling for weights in metric.
Look, all I know is real big is all out he coming.
Oh, we have a Chungus level alert.
Yeah, Chungus. Well, thank you for that, David. That's actually a really interesting story. Both of y'all had really good ones, and mine kind of sucked, but that's okay. They all can't be bangers. So, that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after this.
Hey man, what's got you off in your phone there?
Oh, just going through all the funny Mothman memes and supernatural shit posts I've been wanting to share. I just don't know where to put the posts yet.
Don't you know about the Supernatural Selection Discord?
We have a Discord?
Yeah, for years, dude. Where have you been?
Can people chat with the hosts and get previews of upcoming episodes and generally post funny shit as much as they want with other listeners?
I mean, if that's your bag. I mean, personally, I wouldn't do that, but there are even live streaming events for the shows there, too. You've been in a few. How do you not know this stuff?
It must have been my doppelganger. How do I get into the Discord?
It's easy. Just visit discord.supernaturalselectionpod.com. Now say that 3 times fast.
Well, that's perfect. Now I can share 3 terabytes of Hollow Earth memes. Get it? Terabytes.
Never mind. Forget I said anything. Just don't do that. You should definitely not visit discord.supernaturalselectionpod.com to join the Discord. We don't want you there.
Too late. I'm already posting my alien abduction fan fiction with the general chat.
Join the hosts and listeners of Supernatural Selection on the official Discord. Just visit discord.supernaturalselectionpod.com.
And welcome back to Supernatural Selection. And we're going to go ahead and go into our next set of stories here. My first one is from thedebrief.org. I want to say we've been to these guys before, like they were one of the whistleblower sites we used, and it turned out like nothing on here was trustworthy. So I thought it'd be great to get an article from here.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. It's not like you vet your shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's this article's by Tim McMillan from August 26th. Is the universe conscious? Growing dissatisfaction with materialist views of the mind are propelling a resurgence in panpsychism. You guys familiar with the idea of panpsychism?
Nope.
That's when you got a polycule made up of mentally ill people.
It is actually a psychic personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. Wow. Sorry. But anyway, you're going to find out. The quest to understand consciousness, a phenomenon as enigmatic as it is central to our experience, has long baffled scientists and philosophers. In recent years, a once fringe philosophical idea has experienced a renaissance, panpsychism, a theory that proposes consciousness is a fundamental and ubiquitous aspect of all reality. While it might sound like something out of a science fiction novel, oh no, it wouldn't be. Panpsychism is increasingly being discussed in academic circles as a viable solution to the so-called, quote, hard problem of consciousness. Yeah, I'll show you my hard problem. Jesus. Anyway, this renewed interest stems from developments in neuroscience, psychology, and even quantum mechanics. Here comes some bullshit, which continue to demonstrate that our current understanding of consciousness is far from complete. What is panpsychism?
Didn't we just try to answer that earlier?
Well, we're getting an answer now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Panpsychism, derived from the Greek words pan, all, and psyche, soul or mind, suggests that consciousness is not limited to humans or higher animals, but is an essential feature of all matter. Oh no, it's Herbie. From electrons to entire galaxies, under the theory of panpsychism, everything in the universe can possess some form of consciousness, albeit very rudimentary or different from human awareness.
You see, the most horrifying thing about this is the minute you sit down on a toilet in this theory, it's probably internally screaming.
No, if it's a toilet, it's made to want it, so it's moaning.
Yeah, it's like num 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 num.
It's going, oh
God,
anyway.
no, clip that, get rid of it. We're not doing that.
I'm shitting in the woods from now on. God damn it.
Well, no, because then you're gonna shit on a log, and like the log's gonna be like, oh,
hi, Poppy. Anyway,
oh Jesus,
kill me. A fitting metaphor for panpsychism is found in the immensely popular Star Wars franchise. Oh, fuck off.
Ugh.
Central to this fictional universe is the concept of the Force, in quotation marks.
The Force doesn't work like that.
A mystical energy generated by all living things that binds the cosmos together. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. This idea parallels the philosophical view that consciousness is a fundamental feature that pervades all matter throughout the universe. Now, it's much closer to Vril, that thing the Nazis were into.
Mm-hmm.
That's much closer to the Force. Just saying. So, although panpsychism may seem radical or counterintuitive, the theory is not new. No shit. Its roots can be traced back to ancient philosophical traditions. According to Aristotle, the pre-Socratic philosopher Thales believed that everything is full of gods, suggesting that consciousness might permeate all things. Likewise, the renowned ancient Greek philosopher Plato supported ideas akin to panpsychism in several of his works.
Well, here's the thing. When you got Plato, anything goes.
Well, what we need is the Plato Fun Factory.
just a screaming Greek man being pushed through a stargate.
Oh my God.
No!
For example, in his 3rd century dialogue, Timaeus, Plato argues that the universe is a living creature endowed with a soul and reason, and that a form of consciousness or soul exists in all its elements. This is reminding me of the Electric Universe.
It's just souls all the way down.
Yep, and turtles.
Yep.
Quote, when the Creator has framed the social accord to his will, he formed within her the corporeal universe, and brought the two together, and united them center to center, Plato wrote in Timaeus. The soul interfused everywhere from the center to the circumference of heaven, in which also she is the external envelopment, herself turning in herself, began a divine beginning of never ceasing and rational life enduring throughout all time. Similarly, in some religious philosophies, such as certain strands of Hinduism and Buddhism, there is a long tradition of viewing consciousness as a fundamental aspect of reality, not confined to individual beings, but rather as an intrinsic quality of the cosmos. Panpsychism enjoyed intermittent popularity over the centuries, reaching its zenith in the 19th century when famous philosophers like William James and psychologists such as Gustav Fechner promoted panpsychism ideas that consciousness was a pervasive element of the universe. How many times do I have to say that one statement?
Right. One thing I'm thinking about, like, would they include chi in this?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
But it really does remind me of Herbie.
Yes, the love bug.
The love bug, yes.
Yes. The bug that loves.
Yes. Speaking of love bugs, Conti has jumped in my lap.
Oh.
So, the revival of panpsychism, because I cannot read that one statement anymore in that paragraph. The resurgence of panpsychism is largely due to the growing dissatisfaction with materialist approaches to the mind. The hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers, Super Nintendo Chalmers, as it were.
Do you have a linking energy to all matter in that kitchen?
Yes.
May I see
God,
it?
that took me a second. Yes, I do.
May I see it?
Highlights of the difficulty of explaining how subjective experiments, qualia, arise from physical processes in the brain. At the material level, we understand that the electrical impulses and chemical signals drive consciousness between neurons in the brain. However, science has yet to find a convincing explanation for how brain activity can give rise to conscious experience.
What they're talking about here sounds like that concept of animus, which I think we mentioned when we covered Mary Shelley. and some of the theory about like what people were thinking, like what is the essence of life, and relating it to like galvanic. So it seems like the big idea here is that like there seems to be some sort of link they're implying between consciousness and energy. Energy being something that's found in, like, I guess everything when you think about it. So
well, this article, it turns out, is 10 pages long. So
Jesus.
It basically continues saying people are pissed about materialism. What if everything's conscious?
Return to the humors.
I thought you were going to say the return to monkey.
Yeah, no.
So
Mike?
Basically, what this is saying is that reality is a Disney universe where everything is alive.
Yes, and when you wipe your ass,
But does that mean, like, my kidneys have their own distinct, consciousness from me?
Well, I don't know. That's a good point.
Like, if I cut my arm off, does it all of a sudden have its own personality?
Hey, y'all, I'm Lefty the left arm.
I'm just picturing, like, someone's liver just screaming, like, please stop drinking.
Well, that's their liver anyway.
Yeah. So
just in a different way of...
Please, your kidneys, please, sir, we're thirsty.
Now, one of the
you can't
things
just
it
drink
talks
Baja
about,
Blast anymore.
one of the things it talks about later in the article is the idea that the universe has a consciousness, and we're all part of that consciousness, and we're just the universe experiencing itself, which is exactly what Bill Hicks said.
Like this sounds like it's like another way to say like simulation theory.
This is two high people sitting around talking on a futon.
Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say simulation theory so much as someone took the fact that I forget who said the quote, but it was saying that humans are basically the universe trying to understand itself, and just took that and like went galaxy brain with it.
Yeah. Now, what's that thing called where the universe exists so we can experience it? Was it No.
This conversation is literally the end to Men in Black with the subway blocker, and the marbles and everything like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if that it was created for us to experience. That's just creationism, isn't it?
Technically, yes. Yet just the universe is God. And here's the thing: what they're describing actually sounds a lot like the religion of the Greys. So that's a thing.
Do you think the Greys proselytize? Like, would you get like Greys come into your door? Like, would you like to speak about the conscious universe?
Would you like to hear the universe's plan for your life? Wait, is that a ballpoint pen?
No, that's the Men in Black, Kevin.
Yeah, but they're related,
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's why they have one working for the Catholic Church. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
God, universe, same thing, whatever. Do you have any strawberry ice cream? But, I mean, this is woo as fuck. I just liked the headline, but it's also just an interesting talking point because I don't know anybody that in their younger days didn't have a similar thought.
Yeah, just like, oh man, I figured out the universe here in my bedroom at the age of 13.
Yeah. Mike, you probably thought that when you were younger, right?
Yeah, more than likely, yes.
Yeah.
We were all idiots once.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the whole thing about, dude, what if, like, every grain of sand is its own universe, but, like, we're a grain of sand on a giant beach?
Right.
Whoa, dude, you gotta stop smoking.
Pass me the Cheetos, man.
Yes. God, now I want Cheetos. Motherfucker. I can only think big for so long now, and my stomach's like food. So, but yeah, it's something to think about, and I'm sure maybe some of our younger listeners might find it fascinating. I don't mean to shit on you if you believe this, but like, it's really old hat in the philosophy department. And I don't know, which is worse, this getting a foothold or the flat Earth?
Oh, flat Earth.
Flat Earth for sure.
Okay,
because that is demonstrably immediately false.
Yeah, this at least it's a belief. It's just like almost a semi-religious belief.
It's at least at our current level.
You can't prove it.
Can't really disprove it.
Yeah, it's like I want to say like feasible that like something like this could be a thing, but it's not feasible that like the Earth is flat.
Yeah, and I love all the experiments they do where the experiment turns out wrong, and they're like, "Well, we did it wrong. Let's try something else."
Right. Besides, we already know the Earth is actually a plate that is surrounded by ice, and there are many Earths surrounding us.
Yes, no, we're a flat Earth on a giant sphere.
Mm-hmm. Made of ice.
Just creeping up to the idea. They're just creeping up to it bit by bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my article, and I hope it didn't blow any minds there. It's not that mind-blowing, unless you're like 11. Yeah.
But the 11-year-olds who listen to this podcast, they're going to love it. Number one, why are you listening to this if you're 11 years old?
Yeah, where are your parents?
Are you orphans? Do you need support?
Are you Scott Summers? What the fuck? Oh, my God. So, Mike.
Yeah.
You've got an article for us. I believe I may have some additional media.
Not exactly an article, but so how familiar are you two with the Boeing Starliner?
Oh, the thing that's caused our astronauts to get stuck up in space for like 5 additional months?
So the Boeing Starliner is the so NASA, for its commercial crew program for bringing astronauts up to the International Space Station, chose two companies, SpaceX and Boeing. And back when they chose SpaceX had not flown humans before, so they were kind of like the dark horse. Whereas Boeing, has been in the aerospace industry forever. They were considered the safe bet.
It's fucking Boeing.
Yeah,
what could go wrong?
Like number one, like if they're having a problem with the astronauts, why don't they just kill them like they normally do?
Yeah.
So that's Boeing's solution.
So in the intervening, like I think 3 years since Commercial Crew was the contracts were first awarded, and in the awarding of contracts, should be said that SpaceX got like $2.6 billion. Boeing got $4.8 billion. So they got almost double the amount of money that SpaceX did for this contract. And where SpaceX was like pretty much on time and, on budget for this, Boeing is now like more than a year late, has had like one not quite successful enough test that NASA was like, hey, we need another uncrewed test for this, because the first one just was not good, so they requested another. And Boeing apparently is going way over budget. Like they're eating a bunch of costs on all this somehow, even though they were awarded more money. I guess they're hoping they'd make it up in the actual launches. But yeah, so that's the background to say that the Starliner, trying to remember when they launched, a month or two ago, launched their first crew on the Starliner, 2 astronauts, to the International Space Station. They were supposed to be there for 5 days, but there were problems found with thrusters, and so the Starliner couldn't come back to Earth while they were trying to figure it out. And now they've already said they're not going to let the astronauts fly back. They're going to come back on a SpaceX capsule.
Yeah, the good car.
The one that is working.
It's like going somewhere with your friend in a shitty piece of crap, and then you have to call your mom.
Yeah. So, but while they're up there, they're running a bunch of tests on this thing, because the problem is the thrusters that are having problems are on what's called the service module, which is the part of the capsule that will actually get ejected before reentry. So they can't study it once it comes back to Earth. So they've been on station, just so they can run all these tests, so they get as much data as they can to not only, try to see if there's anything they can do about it beforehand, which seems like they can't, be 100%, cannot have enough faith in it that it will not fuck up with the astronauts in it.
Right.
And 2, just to find out what the problems are. So, because like I said, they can't test it once it gets back on Earth because they all the affected systems will have burnt up in the atmosphere.
Right.
So, in this intervening time, one of the astronauts found an odd thing going on. They found a noise coming from a speaker in the cabin of the Starliner. And Kevin, you can go ahead and play it.
Yeah, I just want to, before I do, I want to point out that, like, weird-ass noises in space with unexplained sources, real common, actually. So, this is the sound, or the audio. You guys hearing?
Yeah.
All right.
So pretty trippy, huh?
Yeah, so 2 things. Number 1, and yet in space no one can hear you scream.
Yeah.
Number 2, that literally sounds like the scene with George C. Scott wailing on the pipes in The Changeling when the ghost is fucking with the plumbing.
See, I was just thinking this reminds me of that meme about moons haunted.
Yeah, right?
Load's gun, moon's haunted.
Like, you don't want to hear that in your speaker out in space.
No,
No.
you fucking don't.
That sounds like something that you would hear in a space horror film trailer. Like, the
Oh,
most
this is a
dramatic
love-
part of the trailer.
This is a modern Lovecraft story waiting to fucking happen.
Right?
Yeah.
The pulsing from another world.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very, very unsettling. I mean,
It's creepy.
I'm glad that they were like on the ISS, because imagine if you were like had nowhere else to go and you're on your ship and you hear that sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is this thing possessed? Is this thing gonna kill me? Is this
Like,
just gonna
it
straight up
sounds
kill me?
like a fucking haunted house noise. That's the
Yeah.
weirdest thing
Well,
about it, man.
It sounds like a noise you'd hear down a long hallway as Freddy's walking towards you.
Yes, like the boiler room and
Yes, it's a
Nightmare on Elm
Wes
Street.
Craven sound effect.
Yes.
But also, it should be followed by, mission control. We just set it on fire and kicked it off the station. It's a burning.
Houston, we have a problem. We unplugged the speaker and now it's louder.
Oh, God, you killed me, son. You killed me. Oh, my God. So, Mike, we got a follow-up to that, though, right?
So yeah, so in a follow-up Twitter post, someone said they were able to clean up the audio some and analyze it and came up with a what it was.
Yeah, it's a hypothesis. Like, do you remember what they did in Star Trek 4 when they had the probe sounds and they adjusted it and they got humpback whales?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
There be whales here. Sorry.
And I think
be
in
whales
the
here.
video they were describing what they were doing, so you might need to read that as it goes.
Yeah, well, double dumbass on you. Sorry,
Yeah.
just you mentioned Star Trek
No,
4.
it's. I know. The quotable one with the whales. All right, that's the original sound. Yep. It's sped up. Remove noise.
God damn it.
Yeah, I cannot escape Sandstorm right now.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a classic, man.
Yeah, no, I fucking adore that.
So I did read a speculation of what it could be.
Okay.
And it's unfortunately sounds very mundane, and the mundane one is always, of course, the most likely, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
It was feedback. But in feedback, what we're used to, like, say, you're at a concert, like, we were at a concert over the weekend.
Yeah.
There was,
Boo!
whenever you got
feedback.
too close to the main speaker, yeah, you got some feedback. And, that's caused by, obviously what it sounds like, the sound coming out of the, speaker
Going
is
into
picked
the
up,
microphone.
picked up by the microphone or whatever input device, and, just kind of do it. But because it's so close, it's such a tight cycle, it makes that, very fast, high pitch. Because if you think about the sound of a feedback, it's not just a tone, it's like it's a warble, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's from the frequency of the loop of out of the speaker into the microphone. That sets the tone of the feedback. Well, the feedback with what they're speculating is the feedback from this is actually from a loop bouncing off the over the radio off the ground station and back up to the Starliner.
Okay.
So if say the sound comes out of the speaker, is picked up by the microphone, but that is bounced down to the ground station and then back up to the Starliner and then back out the speaker again, you get a pulsing feedback because of the delay.
Right.
It's like, I think they said it's a 500 millisecond bounce either way, which adds up to that would be 1,000 milliseconds. Wouldn't that? No, that'd be a millisecond. Yeah, it'd be 1,000 milliseconds, which would be, because a millisecond is a millionth of a second, right?
Right.
But,
Right.
So that would
So magic.
So,
Yeah.
Mike, that's a really good theory, but you're wrong. It's the event horizon.
I mean, yeah, it probably is the event horizon.
It's
but,
it's just Sam Neill, right?
yeah.
Sam
Phantom
Neill with his eyes
Spaceman.
pulled out. Yeah. It's his eyes pulled out, and he's just banging on a pipe.
I still say the event horizon is in the 40K canon.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is the fucking origin of the warp. This is a discussion for distraction.
Right. No, I appreciate it, though, and I kind of agree. Like, I think you could easily nestle it into the canon.
Yeah, no, definitely. So,
I made a sweet Venture Brothers reference again with Phantom Spaceman.
no, I got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank
yeah.
you for acknowledging me.
You're welcome. So that's it from Mike's, which I really enjoy that one. He did that, like, we heard Sandstorm at the concert, and I just turned to Mike. I was like, day 4, Sandstorm shows no sign of stopping.
Yes. Just constant sandstorm.
It's just like fucking 20 minutes of that. So, David, first off, thank you again for that, Mike. I really am glad we did that one. David, what have you got for your last one?
Well, today in The Simpsons did it. I got this article from The Bite, which is under Futurism, by Noor Al-Sabai, who's a recurring writer that we've seen across
At this
these
point, we
articles.
should give him a credit on the show.
We should email him and say thank you. Anyway, startup says it'll use huge space mirror to sell sunlight during nighttime.
God fucking damn it. You can't get more dystopian than that.
Excellent. So I know it wasn't a space mirror in The Simpsons. Shut up, nerds.
Still.
It was a big mirror over Springfield.
I know what it was.
Yep. A provocative startup claims it will soon let people buy spots of sunlight reflected with a giant satellite mirror, but there are still a lot of outstanding questions about how and whether the whole thing will actually work. As Mashable reports, the Reflect Orbital startup has begun taking applications to, quote, reserve a spot of light, promoting the offering with a demonstration video posted on X, formerly Twitter.
Thank you for calling it that.
Oh, that's what they wrote in the article. So
Yeah, no, I'm thanking him.
Oh, yes, absolutely. In the demo, former SpaceX intern and startup co-founder Ben Nowak is shown using an app.
Intern.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Is shown using an app outside in the dark that seems to control the location of the company's sunlight reflecting mirrors. He selects the spot where he stands, and the area around him is suddenly illuminated as if by stadium lights.
Okay.
Both Mashable and a reader note on another tweet featuring Nowak's video, note that it's unclear how the video was filmed and whether it's a simulation of Reflect Orbital's light peddling service or what. And unfortunately, there's even more opacity surrounding the startup. I do appreciate the pun there.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I enjoy futurism. Okay.
Yeah.
Bottom lines. Notably...
Mike, you were going to say something.
Oh,
Hang
yes.
on, David.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say that, it obviously has to be simulated because they have not launched a giant mirror, to my knowledge.
I said Simpsons did. I should have fucking talked about Futurama.
Yeah.
There was that whole thing where they were fighting global warming with the mirror, and the guy goes, wow, sun's real bright today, and it gets atomized by the beam of light.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because I'm like, we do that to ants.
Yeah, no, and Futurama is in the Simpsons canon, so yeah, Simpsons did it there. Okay, I'm glad we were able to bring in the Simpsons and Futurama. Anyway.
Yeah, we a lot of references tonight.
Yep.
Notably, Reflect Orbital hasn't yet launched the mirror-equipped satellite that's key to its value proposition, though the California-based company says on its reservation page that delivery of these sunspots will occur in the latter part of 2025.
My ass.
Despite those claims, it's also unclear how much the launch is going to cost, and perhaps more importantly, how much it's going to cost consumers to purchase the so-called, quote, sunlight as a service.
I want to burn everything.
That is
that
the
phrase.
most horrific thing I have ever heard.
We monetize daylight, everybody.
Well, I mean, it's at night, so you're not getting any light anyway then. So it's not it's not like they're blocking out the sun and you have to pay for it during the day.
I don't know, because I'm still burned by that whole, was it Logitech that was like, they want to start charging people subscription fees to use computer mice?
Well, that was supposed to be a subscription mouse that you never needed to buy another mouse again.
Can we just not do services as a thing
I agree.
for a few years?
Yeah.
But
step away and see how things turn out without services for a while. Anyway, as Vice notes in its reporting on Reflect, there is no price listed on the company's website, and when its reporters interviewed Nowak earlier this year, they either didn't ask him about costs or he declined to answer.
Son of a bitch.
Right? We've reached out to the startup to ask about the financial elephant in the room and haven't yet heard back. But if we had to guess, we suspect it's not exactly going to be cheap, given that even the cheapest and smallest satellite launches are estimated to cost about $1 million. There's also a non-zero chance that this whole endeavor may be a wash, considering that, aside from one brief moment of Russian success, other attempts to mirror sunlight from space have failed. Then again, if anyone can make it happen today, it probably would be a former SpaceX employee, as long as other people are paying for it. Oof.
Okay.
Oof.
Here's the thing about the SpaceX employee. Again, this is an intern, which, have y'all ever seen Road to Wellville?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when they started their cereal company, and he said, I hired a gentleman who worked for the Kellogg company, and it turned out he was like the janitor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I saw the cereal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, a SpaceX intern, they don't know shit.
He can get coffee.
I mean, sure. He could have worked on some, systems, but yeah.
He could have sat in a room playing Flappy Bird all day.
Here's the thing. Even if it was like the SpaceX head engineer, it's not like SpaceX is known for building large solar reflectors.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be directly transferable.
Unless he got a hold of Elon Musk's Lex Luthor files.
Even then, they have never done it practically before. So
That's true.
Still...
Yeah. So, I just thought that was like a little bit of a dystopia for us.
I hate that.
Selling sunlight.
I don't hate it as much as dead animals, but I hate it.
I mean, how's this different than the electric companies selling you power to light your home at night?
I didn't say I like that either, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically, the same thing.
I just picture like 2025, like we're ready to roll out our service, and it's just a bunch of drones with spotlights, like stadium lights.
God, that's gonna be hilarious. Yes.
Yeah, I have zero confidence this will happen.
Oh yeah,
in that time frame. Maybe in a 20-year time frame, maybe. But even then, I think it's pretty dubious, like a pretty dubious. What do I say? As far as market, I don't know.
It's just a way to launder a lot of fucking money.
Like it says, it's not going to be cheap, and I don't understand who the market will be. I mean, obviously it'd have to be like municipalities, but they already have street lights and stuff where they want that.
Yeah, maybe people who want to sunbathe at night.
Or what if they pay to just annoy an island?
Fuck.
Like Bezos gets bored, pays them, and they shine it on like some small island, and like they go and like all the natives have committed mass suicide because God turned on the sun at night.
Jesus Christ! You really want to confuse some nocturnal animals?
Thank you, Emo Phillips.
Right. But no, like
all the animals.
Shit. Fuck.
Thank you for that, Mike.
You're welcome.
I just thought if we put up a satellite.
Look at me, just call me Butterfingers.
God damn it.
Another reference.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so I'm done.
I'm done too after that. No. Excuse me. God, that was I hate it. I fucking hate it. Now, that being said, we have a segment this week. Guys, we're going back to Reddit already. Already. So, this comes from r/paranormal. And this is a post by WildAnywhere9335. And the post is entitled, I May Be Crazy, But Vampire? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Because it's a legit question. That's the best part.
Maybe I'm crazy, but vampire?
All right.
I'm sorry. Oh. Okay. Okay, we can go.
All right. You sure about that?
No.
All right. Okay, well, here we go. I think I just saw an actual vampire. This person seemed out of place, and no one seemed to notice him but me. He approached me while whistling. I instantly got a headache. And he passed by me with his mouth obscurely open. It seemed as though he has a lot of teeth in his mouth. Did I see something odd, or was it just a person messing with me? Does anyone have real vampire experiences?
Oh, God, it hurts.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And we got some responses.
Oh.
So, the first one. There's certain beings I know are real that I've been wondering if they are responsible for the vampire myth. I believe you, OP. If ever one strange creature exists, then it's possible they all are real.
Well, you know what? One time I did see a werewolf walking with a Chinese menu in his hand.
Through the streets of Soho in the rain?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
how'd you know, man?
Because I was looking for a place called Eho Flux as well.
His hair was perfect.
Damn, son. So, after that, somebody said, I'm curious as to which beings you know to be real and how. Have you had encounters? And they respond, reptilian shapeshifters. I wish I was joking. They don't just look like humans and can look sort of like a vampire when half-shifted. They live among us. And that's replied to with, I wish I was joking. Do you have any evidence to back up your claim, please? And somebody said, Among Us? And the guy posting about the reptilians, they can be in a crowd of people and no one would know. Wolves in sheep's clothing.
They could be posting on Reddit.
Yeah. Then how do we... And then somebody said, then how do we know they're real? What are you seeing? I said... Somebody else said, do you have any tips on how to identify one? And he says, now that's actually a really good question. Considering they're trying not to be identified and what makes it so hard. It's similar to how chameleons change color. It's an ability. Cameras help. Look for abnormally large hands and fingers. Look for a wide mouth, a smile with lips that have no end. What? They can be famous actors, politicians, athletes, religious leaders, almost anyone, and that's why it's a problem. They have influence, and influence is powerful. To which someone just replied, sus.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Do you think that people who believe in the lizard people, like, they look at people with psoriasis kind of funny?
I don't know.
Like, they just see someone, they see someone with, like, some, like, dry skin, kind of scaly skin, because, you know, skin conditions, and they're just like,
sure. Certainly a lizard. That's why he's living on the street. Yeah. So, there's another response. Worked second shift and got lucky with a 4-hour shift that night, and we decided to go to the grocery store to make a late dinner. We encountered a woman on a whole other frequency. Felt uneasy walking near her upon entering. This was at my local F for Less at the time here in California.
Oh, Food for Less.
Okay, Food for Less here in California.
Why would they need to censor it?
I have no fucking idea. She was pushing a cart wearing all black with beanie long black hair. Passed her on by my left side, and she had a pack of raw meat placed on the top space for a purse-bag child. She had a bag under the meat pack, but she had the meat open, chewing on it. She paid for whatever she had. Not sure about the meat as I kept staring at the cashier like, how are you not seeing this? In her cart, but no one else but my partner and I noticed that she was gnawing on raw meat throughout the store. Her eyes were black and she looked hungry as fuck. Been to that store numerous times at all hours and never saw her again. I managed to get a picture and short footage of her passing me for a second time, but I was creeped out, and photo is not that great.
You know,
I want to see the pic.
You know, I'd say I can fix her, but there's nothing to fix.
Yep.
Nope.
I love that everybody's like, I want to see the picture. And he's like, I'll post it later. And he has not posted it later.
Yeah.
But yeah. How about you, Mike? Ever seen anybody you thought was a vampire?
Nope.
Okay, David, ever seen anybody you thought was a vampire?
Nope, but I am going to workshop a vampire joke.
Okay.
Okay. What is a vampire's favorite erotic late night TV show?
I have no idea.
The Red Ghoul Diaries. Hey.
Ow.
Yeah.
Fucking ow.
Another reference. All right.
Oh, God. So, I actually saw this woman, when I worked for Roses, there's this horrible, insane woman and her child that would come in, and they were nightmares, like collateral damage.
Well,
like we had to ban her from
they're
the store.
not called children. When they're vampires, they're called spawn.
Okay, well, nonetheless, she looked, normal skin color. Then one night I saw her at the Kroger, which is the southern chain of grocery stores.
Yeah.
I saw her at the Kroger, and her and the child were just undead, ashen white walking around. Like, have you ever seen a dead African American?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. I have, because I found a dead body once.
Jesus Christ.
And that's what they looked like, but walking around. And I never saw him again after that. But, like, my brain was like, what the fuck monsters are these people?
Well, you know, domestic abuse can be really hell on you.
God damn it, Mike.
I'm just still, struggling with the fact that you probably had like a Stand By Me adventure I don't know about here.
It was not an adventure, and it did not turn out well.
Did Corey Feldman die?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, Corey Feldman's fine. Another reference.
He's
Yay.
fine. Yay!
Yay!
David, would you stand by me?
You know what? I would.
Oh, thank you. Mike, would you stand by me?
As long as you don't fart.
Fair.
And then it's don't stand so close to me.
Oh, look at all that.
Yeah.
So, guys, before we move on to final stuff like plugs or anything, I have been derelict in my duties. Patrons. We have had 2 new patrons in the last several months. And unfortunately, I have not announced them on this show.
Oh, my.
So, first off, thank you, Allie Bear, for being a donator to the show.
Oh, Allie Bear.
We truly appreciate it.
Yes.
And also, welcome to the Discord.
Yes.
And lastly, we have Faith Markley.
Oh, man. That's my mom.
Hi, Mrs. David's mom.
That's my mama.
Thank you for being a subscriber to the Patreon. I hope you enjoyed that new episode. Wow, I didn't know I was going to embarrass you, buddy.
Yeah, come joke in the first 3 minutes. Enjoy.
Yeah. Woo, we're good at this.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's all for this week. Have we got any plugs, David?
No, I mean, listen to the Distraction Hole this Sunday. I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm sure we've got a lot to talk about. And I think we're going to record some more patron content pretty soon. I'm very excited about the episode I'm writing right now as well for this show. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, see? So, Mike, how about you?
No.
One day he's going to have something to plug, and, like, the apocalypse is going to happen, and it's going to be...
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Like, Mike, if you were to plug something one day in the future, say, like, 5 years from now when you finally have something to plug, like, what kind of thing do you think it would be?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I get off my lazy ass and, finish writing my, story.
That was what I was thinking. I'm like, no, like, it's going to, one day Mike's going to be like, my book's coming out, and I'm going to be like, when did you write a book, motherfucker?
And then the meteor comes down.
Yes. And we never get to read the fucking book.
Yep, that's how it's going to work. And I'm just going to say, go out and check out 2 bands. Check out the Cybertronic Spree, which is a bunch of Autobots and Decepticons together making music. And Voyager 3, if you like Vaporwave, you will like these guys.
Hey.
So, if you would like to learn more about the show, head to supernatpod.rocks. That is supernatpod.rocks. You will find links to our Discord, our Patreon, our merch store. You can join us on the Discord, and we usually take questions. We did not have time to put out a call for questions, though. And you can find the backlog of our series, this show, and the Distraction Hole on the website. And if you need to contact us, you can use the forum or hit us up at team@supernaturalselectionpod.com. We'll also answer your questions about advertising if you would like to advertise on the show. So, that being said, in my gravelly voice, thank you for listening. We will see you next time. So until then, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
Night-night.
Ventura.